Hi everyone, we have May 2022 in the books, and so we thought we would share the results. As I was suggesting a month ago, we are moderating. We're moving back to more of a balanced market. Now I say that, and keep in mind that we are not in a balanced market. We're in a very solid seller's market still, just not as solid as it was. And it's funny what we get used to, right? So here we are. This first chart is basically a 6-month comparison. So we're just looking month over month to see the trends. And what we're seeing trend-wise is a little bit of a reduction in total sales volume in May over April. That is not standard. Usually May is a little bit bigger. So April and May are the two biggest months of the year most often, saving, and except for maybe a COVID year or something. But that is an interesting trend that we're actually a little bit softer in terms of number of sales in May. That trend will likely continue. Active listings have jumped fairly substantially. We're now at, about a 25% jump month over month in active listings. And what that translates into is how much months of inventory there is. So we went from less than 1 month at 0.9 to now we're at 1.2. Now, this is still craziness, and there's still multiple offers, and there's still all kinds of competition. A balanced market is somewhere between 4 and 6 months of standing inventory. So this is a very extreme seller's market, just not the ballistic seller's market we saw that we've all gotten so used to. Prices, what we're seeing there as well, more inventory, more choices, a few fewer buyers per property, a very slight moderation. So we now know that March was actually the peak of our prices at $757 average sell price across condos and residential, like combined. We're now at $720. So we went from $740 to $720, about a 3% decline. So what do I anticipate June will look like? Well, typically there's fewer sales in June than there is in May. Inventory will keep growing, months of inventory will grow, and we might see a little bit of a moderate reduction in prices. The challenge with, hey, should I wait, is that interest rates are what's driving this slowdown to some extent. And the interest rate hikes are much, much more aggressive than the reduction in prices. So you're actually moving backwards by waiting to see a price come down, because most of us are paying a mortgage, and so the affordability is really tied to the monthly payment, not the purchase price per se. So there's no value in waiting. Moving on, this is just a price comparison. So again, we're in a very strong market, an 8.2% average increase in prices from last May to this May. We're now $802,000 to buy a residential property in the city. Those are some staggering figures. Condos at 11.3% jump from 424 to 472. Very interesting. I would suggest that because the residential properties are becoming so pricey, they were probably moving people into the condo market that would have preferred to be in residential. They just can't afford to be. Moving on, we've got one last slide for you today, and this is just, where are things going, what's happening. So we had about a 19.2% decrease in sales May over May. Now keep in mind, last May was record-breaking. And we've had about a 13% increase in active listings. So that's back to this whole thing about months of inventory. And what I love about months of inventory is it's a real key kind of performance indicator about where things are going. As the market expands, as inventory expands, as there's less buyers per home, we move back to this balanced market. So again, 1.2 months of standing inventory, very tight. You find yourself in multiple offers often, as we did this weekend, as we do most weekends. But perhaps there's a few fewer offers, perhaps there's, a little bit more wiggle room. So there it is. Let's see what June brings. We are moving back towards a very, very strong seller's market and out of our ballistic seller's market. And my sense is that that trend will continue. We'll let you know.